In this video, we will talk about gold and silver investment. First, what we need to know before we buy our first ounce of gold. There's no safety in gold and silver. Don't ever consider holding gold or silver bullion or exchange trade fund long-term as a safe herbal, because all profit are taxed at the higher ordinary income tax. Here's some initial guideline from one of American top gold experts from online interview of Michael J. Kosares. Michael J. Kosares has nearly 14 years experience in the gold business and is the founder of USAGOLD. He is the author of the ABCs of Gold Investing, How to Protect and Build Your Wealth with Gold, as well as numerous magazine and internet articles. He is frequently interviewed in the financial press. He is well known for his ongoing commentary on the gold market and its economic, political, and financial underpinning. Question 1. What kind of gold should I buy? We probably get the question more than any other pretty much on a daily basis. The answer, however, is not as straightforward as you might think. What you buy depends upon your goal. We usually answer, what should I buy? Question with one of our want. Why are you interested in buying gold? If your goal is simply to hedge financial uncertainty or capitalize on price movement, then contemporary bullion coins will serve your purpose. Those concerned with the possibility of the capital control and a gold seizure or call-in often include historic pre-1933 gold coins in their planning. Both the contemporary bullion coins and historic gold coins trade at modest premiums over their gold melt value, track the gold price, and enjoy strong liquidity internationally. Question 2. When should I buy? The short answer is when you need it. Gold first and foremost is wealth insurance. You cannot approach it the way you approach stock or real estate investment. Timing is not the real issue. The first question you need to ask yourself is whether or not you believe you need to own gold. If you answer the question in the affirmative, there's no point in delaying your actual purchase or waiting for a more favorable price, which may or may not appear. Cost averaging can be a good strategy. The real goal is to diversify so that your overall wealth is not compromised by economic danger and uncertainty like the kind generated by the 2008 financial crisis or those who unfolding in Europe and Japan. Question 3. Why not wait for the necessity to arise then buying gold? Over the past few years, as concern about the financial and economic breakdown spread, there were periods of gold coin bottlenecks and actual shortage in 2008 to 2009 at the height of the financial crisis. Demand was so great that the national means could not keep up with it. The flow of historic gold coin from Europe was also insufficient to meet accelerating demand both there and in the United States. Premium shot up and all coins, and a scramble developed for what was available. There is an old saying that the best time to buy gold is when everything is quiet. I will underline that sentiment. Question 4. What can you give us a profile of the typical gold investor? Gold owner, a group of people he have come to know very well in his 14 years in the business. Contrary to the less that flattering picture sometimes painted by the mainstream press, the people we have helped become gold owner are among those we really upon most in our daily life. Our physical, dentist, nurse, teacher, plumber, carpenter, building contractor, business owner, attorney, and also university professor. In other words, gold ownership is pretty much a mainstream endeavor. A recent Gallup poll found that 34% of American investors rated gold the best investment. Regardless of gender, age, income, or party ID, is that surveyed gold was rather higher than stock, bonds, real estate, and bank saving. Question 5. What percentage of my assets should I invest in gold? Once again, the answer is not cut and dry, but a general rule of thumbs is 10% to 30%. How high you go between 10% and 30% depends upon how concerned you are about the current economic, financial, and political situation. Recently, CNBC television commentator Jim Cramer strongly advocated a 20% gold diversification. Question 6. In your book, you state who you do business with is one of the most important aspects of gold investing. Why is that? A solid professional gold firm can go a long way in helping the investor shortcut the learning curve. A good gold firm can help you avoid some of the problem and pitfall encountered along the way and provide some direction. It can help you in the beginning and through the course of your gold ownership, both in making addition to your portfolio and liquidation. Question 7. How can the average investor distinguish between the good gold firm and the bad? First, and most important, check the Better Business Bureau profile on a company before you do business with it. Check not only its rating, but the number of complaints logged against it and how those complaints were handled. A considered record of complaint can be a warning sign even if the company has managed to keep an A+ rating. This is a simple and straightforward step where every first-time investor should take, but it is amazing how many ignore it. Second, choose a good firm that has a solid track record. 10 years in business is good. 15 years or more is even better. Third, choose a firm with a commitment to keep you informed. Example, one that is interested in answering your question now and keeping you informed in the future. If a salesperson gives you short shirt or hit you with a heavy sales pitch, take it as a warning. Question 8. Can you briefly describe what you believe to the biggest mistake investors make when starting out as a gold owner? The biggest trap investors fall into is buying a gold investment that bears little or no relationship to his or her objective. Take safe haven investor for example. That group make up 90% of our clients and probably a good 75% of the current physical gold market. Most often the safe haven investor simply wants to add gold coin to his or her portfolio mix, but too often the same investor ends up instead with a leveraged finance gold position, or a handful of exotic rare coins, or a position in an ETF that amounts to little more than a bet on the gold price. These have little to do with safe haven investing, and most investors will be well served to avoid them. Question 9. What about gold future contract? Future contracts are generally considered one of the most speculative arena in the investment marketplace. The investor exposed to the market is leveraged, and the most both up and down are greatly exaggerated. Something like 9 out of 10 investors who enter the future market come away loser. For someone looking to hedge his or her portfolio against economic and financial risk, this is a poor substitute for owning the metal itself. Question 10. What is the best approach for the safe haven investor? If you want to protect yourself against inflation, deflation, stock market weakness, and potential currency problem, in other words, if you want to hedge financial uncertainty, there is only one portfolio item that will serve you in all seasons and under most circumstances: gold coin and billions. Make sure you do your homework on the company with which you choose to do business, and make sure that the gold ownership vehicle you choose truly reflect your goal and aspiration. Through this interview will help you start safely on the road to gold ownership. It is just an overview. If you would like more detailed information, I will recommend the book by Michelle J. Kosares, The ABCs of Gold Investing: How to Protect and Build Your Wealth with Gold, which cover the who, when, where, why, and how of gold ownership in detail.